The Women's Initiatives for Gender Justice is an international women's human rights organisation, and we work with women most directly affected by armed conflict situations, particularly those under investigation by the new International Criminal Court. The Women's Initiatives has been working with local women's rights and peace activists since 2004. We first began our country-based work and programs in northern Uganda, and in relation to the long 23-year conflict that has so badly affected northern Uganda, South Sudan, Eastern DRC, and also the Central African Republic. Our work focuses on advocacy with the ICC to make sure they include prosecutions for gender-based crimes in each of the situations under their investigation. We've spent a lot of time building capacity of localized women's rights groups and community-based organizations to enhance and support their work for accountability and reconciliation locally, as well as to take those voices and those calls to the international level by linking up with them as part of our advocacy before the International Criminal Court. We've really developed initially a movement of women's rights and peace activists within the Great Lakes region. That's now expanded to a global network and a global constituency of women's rights and peace advocates right around the world calling for gender justice. In 2006, we made history by being the first non-governmental organisation to file before the International Criminal Court. And we filed in relation to the first case before the ICC, highlighting the rights of victims and also the need to prosecute gender-based crimes within the first case. One of the successes for us has been working with our partners in northern Uganda, and these are grassroots women's rights and peace advocates who were disengaged from the peace process. They knew that peace talks were being held, but they didn't know what was being discussed. They didn't know what agreements had already been signed between the government of Uganda and the Lord's Resistance Army. Eventually, we were able to support them to be able to participate directly in the peace talks. And that was a success. They came late to the peace table, but the fact that they were there was very important, and it did shift some of the dynamics and the political chemistry of the environment. And in particular, it did lead to the inclusion of some gender provisions in the final stages of the peace agreements. Without doubt, our advocacy and the advocacy of others calling for gender justice has influenced the awareness of the ICC to prosecute gender-based crimes in every situation they are investigating. And we can see as we look now over the record of the court over the past 5 or 6 years that they have included charges for sexualized violence and other forms of gender-based crimes in all 4 country situations where indictments have been issued, and in 5 out of 9 individual cases before the ICC. Without the vigilance and advocacy of women's rights groups, the ICC would not have felt compelled to prosecute these crimes. So we feel this is a major success for the women's movement.